NERDSoul. Yeah, late L Kid at One Youngster holding it down, bringing you that street geek and nerd soul. And what is up, my people? Today we got another wonderful episode of Thumbnails, man. It's so cool. Anime, cartoons. We about to go on and get up in it. And before we do, I got to let y'all know, since NYCC went down, we might as well go on and give y'all the disclaimer. Most of this stuff is going to be about news coming out of NYCC. But I got to start off with, of course, a Rebels recap. Why? Because Star Wars is everything. So this episode of Rebels was about Wedge Antilles, called the Antilles Extraction. And it really shows kind of like Sabine going back to her roots, or her, I guess, empire roots, to kind of infiltrate and get Wedge Antilles out of there. During that time, she finds out that there's going to be a whole lot of other, little cadets and everything that are also down with the rebels as well. And you get to see Sabine really kind of like take charge and really be the focus of an episode, because he only gets a couple of episodes here and there to really be the focus. And the cool thing is, homegirl was A, working that black. 2, she really knows how to like lie to the empire. I ain't gonna lie, that girl can lie. And then on top of that, you get to see Wedge Antilles and his leadership role of the other rebels that he's already kind of like in charge of, or kind of in tune with there, because they have to get all the intel and get the training and then defect over to the rebels, which is really cool in my opinion. This was a strong episode. I won't say it's great, but it was really, really good. And one of the best parts about this episode, in my opinion, was the part where Kallus kind of extends a get out of jail free card to Sabine and Wedge Antilles and the rest of them, because of the honorable kind of like, he did me a favor, I'm going to do him a favor as far as Zeb is concerned, because Zeb saved his life last season. And, Kallus he's an honorable guy. Like, that was a good episode from last season where, like, him and Zeb had to work together. You found out that Kallus, he's part of the Empire, but, he's not all bad. He really made me proud on that episode, man. He made me proud. He was like, look, don't go to levels like 4 to 5 or something like that. And, he really, he not only paid Zeb back, but he showed, got some heart. He got some heart. So, now that that's done, the first up in our news, we're going to go in and head off Justice League Dark. At New York Comic Con, a lot of the attendees got to see Justice League Dark, what it was going to be like. It's coming early next year. And of course, we're going to be seeing a lot of people like Zatanna, Etrigan the Demon, John Constantine, all of that. But the cool thing is that they got to see 2 specific scenes that kind of gave them a little taste into what Justice League Dark was going to be like. And I think this is going to be cool, because it seems that in live action, Justice League Dark may be back on the table. But in the 2 scenes that they got to see, the first scene is kind of like an opening sequence where Wonder Woman and Batman are talking together. And it seems like there's a lot of people going crazy in the streets. And for whatever reason, Wonder Woman thinks that magic is involved. Now, of course, the cynical Batman is like, nah, there's no such thing as, magic, even though he hangs out with Superman and another guy that's from Mars. But anyway, he doesn't believe in magic. He goes home and ends up having a supernatural encounter himself and sees the words or the word Constantine on the wall. So that's the first scene they got to see. It was kind of like an opening frame and kind of get you into Justice League as a whole. The next scene, you get to see John Constantine saying a spell and forcing Mr. Blood into being Etrigan the Demon to help him fight. Now, that is kind of screwed up because Jason Blood says after he turns back that he had been fighting Etrigan for over 500 years. So the dude is trying to keep the demon locked away inside of him, and John Constantine forced him to come out. So Mr. Blood properly punched him in his face. But I think a lot of people were into it. They do say that they're trying to lean more into a horror genre with this. Now, there is one statement that I wasn't really too excited about. The producer said that it's kind of like superhero stuff with special spells and magic and things of that nature. I'm like, Justice League Dark is a little more than that. And another thing that I'm not too keen on until I see it is, of course, that we got to use Batman as the entryway. I think DC uses Batman way too much, but we shall see. From what, people are coming back from the screenings with are saying that the scenes are pretty proper. So here's to Justice League Dark being everything that I want it to be, especially since Matt Ryan is involved and saying that he's having a hell of a time doing the thing up on the voices and just enjoying interacting with all of the characters. So next up, we got Wonder Woman, who is going to be, I guess, circling around the idea of another home DVD release. Warner Video is talking about they have her in mind, or she's in the pike, or they have ideas to get her another animated feature out. Now, in my case, I don't even think this should be a sort of idea. This should be a slam dunk, especially with her prominence that she's coming to as far as like the live action films that we have coming out. People really loved her portrayal in BVS. Even though BVS wasn't all that, they really loved her in BVS. Also, the fact that you guys for Warner Animation didn't do anything for 75th anniversary, which was this year, man. Y'all need to get up on that. Next up, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, which are going to have a whole bunch of shorts. And these shorts are going to be super cool. Why? Because you have Court Lane talking about going retro. And we're hoping that retro not only means the art style, but also means that we could possibly see Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne doing their thing together. Back, in the days, fighting between the, different governments, doing some covert things. And I love animated shorts. It's a cool way to kind of like go between different shows. It's a cool way to kind of like just get small stories out, but have a nice impact. And also, if we're going to go retro and we're going to go with Hank and Janet, then here's to the Cold War. Next up, we're going to be talking Spider-Man, which I'll be honest, guys, I am Spider-Man'd out. But Ultimate Spider-Man seems to be coming to an end, and they're going to be starting a brand new series. Now, guess what, guys? This new series is going to be a origin story. Yeah, that's right. Go on and keep applauding. The origin story is going to be like a back to basics, which Court Lane says, who is this SVP of Marvel Animation, stating that this is going to be about back to basics, him learning how to be a hero, him learning how to kind of become the guy that we all know. Now, I'll be honest, I'm kind of down with what Kevin Feige said, even though it's over live action. He said that we're not doing origin stories anymore. Doctor Strange is supposed to be the last origin story they do. And in all honesty, I've got to agree, we are tired of spending tons of time figuring out how he or she got their powers. We know already. Spider-Man's been around since, I don't know, like the 40s? Nah, he's not that old, but still. The point is, we all know how Spider-Man became Spider-Man. Let's go on some fun adventures. So, guys, that I didn't like Ultimate Spider-Man. So, you now know that I also don't like this new idea for the new Spider-Man. So, I'm going to have to give a yawn to both of those. Lastly, we're going to touch on Guardians of the Galaxy, which has me the most hyped, even though I haven't copped a lot of their new animated series, because season 2 is going to have Adam Warlock and, yes, of course, the lady, Captain Marvel, who is the bomb. I'm so excited to see her doing her thing on the animated tip. Now, season 2, which people got to preview for a second at NYCC, says that they're going to be opening up on the first episode, teaming up with the Avengers to save a couple of people on a very, very important rescue mission. So you're going to get the Guardians and you're going to get the Avengers teaming up, and that's never a bad thing. And we're probably going to see that in Infinity War anyway. So the good news about this is that we're getting more weird, we're getting more interstellar, and we're getting a couple of ties into our earthly heroes as well, which seems like a plus in all my cases. Now, I will say one thing that I was not feeling about the release of this is that we got to see Captain Marvel's hair. I like the way her hair was in the comic book, yo. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like there was no reason to change her hair whatsoever. And I feel like it was kind of bad. But that's up to you. And of course, we'll see how it works out when it's animated. So that is my time. I will have to holler at y'all later. Before y'all get out of here, holler at thatnerdsoul.com. Check me out. Get all the videos there. If you're not on YouTube, you need to check me out there. I post all the videos there, and you can get all of the content and keep up with a player. Next, check out shop.thatnerdsoul.com. Pick yourself up a t-shirt, player. Got all kinds of stuff representing the Nerd Soul movement. And once you come back here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this to your friends. Don't be stingy with Nerd Soul. Show them what's up. And before I get out of here, VA what up, LA what up, RVA you got my heart. And of course, stay good, or be good at it. Peace.